This is a sharing titled, A Strong Inner Self is a Cure for All through the Autobiography, educated by historian Tara Westover. If, before you came into this world, you held a script for an incredibly miserable life, would you still choose to live it? And if you've already stepped into this destiny, holding a hand of bad cards, unable to choose your parents or change your background, what attitude would you adopt to continue living? In her autobiography, Educated, American author Tara Westover vividly recounts her journey climbing out of a hellish life, overcoming every obstacle and sorrow, and ultimately being accepted into Cambridge University. It was a complete turnaround, a reversal of her entire destiny. She escaped the mountains, shed limiting beliefs, used education to open a door to a new world, and finally achieved true independence, freedom, and happiness. This book immediately became a New York Times bestseller, and Tara was honored by Time magazine as one of the most influential people of the year. Educated also topped the reading list recommended by Bill Gates in 2019. Gates said, "This is an amazing story, truly inspiring. I began to reflect on my own life when reading about her harsh childhood." From Tara's real-life story, we see that a person's ability to live freely and happily isn't determined by their background or family circumstances, but by possessing a strong inner self with 4 core abilities for self-transformation. So, what are these 4 core abilities? First, conquer your inner fears. Tara grew up in the mountains of Idaho, USA. Her father was obstinate and suffered from severe bipolar disorder. Her mother, originally an independent thinker, later became a devoted follower of her husband's misguided views. Tara's parents were conservative Mormons who distrusted science, education, and the government, having no contact with the authorities. Her father adamantly refused to send his children to school, homeschooling them instead. From the age of 7, Tara was pulled by her father to the junkyard to help with work. Once, a pile of scrap metal flung her to the ground, and she nearly died beneath her father's truck. In that harsh environment, Tara also witnessed her brothers suffer burns, injuries, and even have their fingers severed. As a child, Tara once imagined that magical junkyard was a playground for battles between devils and witches, goblins and thugs. But now, she realized it was more like a forge in hell, teeming with fear everywhere she looked. Moreover, she lived in a family rife with violence and discrimination against women. Her brother, Sean, had a volatile temperament, prone to violence and severe personality disorder. He frequently verbally abused Tara for being a girl, even grabbing her hair and forcing her head into the toilet. Even when Tara went to university, Sean would still find excuses to play with her, only to seek opportunities to assault her. She had countless nightmares of her brother killing her. All that sorrow etched deep scars onto Tara's insecure and sensitive soul, like a knife carving into her very being. A writer once said that when you are afraid, all doors close to you. In many cases, it's not the circumstances that defeat a person, but fear, disappointment, and lack of self-confidence that bring them down. It's like a low-energy source, suppressed for a long time, unable to be released in a way that allows for self-perception of the world. These low energies reshape and distort one's perception. Yet, Tara was fully aware of this. Under that invisible weight, she didn't collapse. Instead, she remained incredibly resilient. Despite carrying her fears, she decided to embark on her journey. Even when imprisoned, she could still dance. She began to let her bleak destiny bloom with life, bit by bit, silently striving. The horrific echoes from the junkyard, the constant clamor of her family, Sean's cruelty, and her father's authoritarianism made Tara want to escape countless times. Then, in that desperate darkness, when her brother Tyler was accepted into university, it became a guiding light for Tara. Influenced by Tyler, Tara decided to apply to university. She picked up books, utilizing every spare moment to secretly self-study. She secretly learned trigonometry and physics. She always believed that beyond this door, there would be an orderly and reasonable world. After failing her first attempt, Tara wasn't discouraged, but continued to study diligently. After another battle, she finally received an acceptance letter from Brigham Young University. However, after entering university, she faced countless even greater challenges. Having never attended school before, she lacked a foundational vocabulary, couldn't write essays, and even the most basic homework was incredibly difficult for her. Because she frequently asked very naive questions in class, her teachers misunderstood her, thinking she was intentionally disruptive. Tara was ostracized by teachers and classmates. Such a life made her begin to feel that perhaps university was a mistake. Yet, even though her heart was somewhat shaken, she never once considered giving up. To pay her rent, Tara had to grit her teeth through stomach pains and force herself to work a cleaning job at 4 a.m. every day. To pass her exams, she stayed up late every night, racking her brain to take notes and study subjects. Once, right before an exam, she had to endure the pain of Sean breaking her toe. She walked with a limp, but she resolutely walked towards the examination hall. Because she had suffered so much, she wasn't afraid of hard work. Because she had endured so many hardships, she cherished every opportunity to learn. Through ceaseless efforts, she graduated with honors and was recommended for a master's degree at Cambridge University. And through ceaseless efforts, she emerged from a conservative Mormon family to become an outstanding scholar with a free spirit. Life is a process of accumulation. When you are willing to see yourself improve every day through continuous learning, you can draw closer to those dreams that once seemed distant. With Tara's efforts, she sculpted herself anew, and all her perseverance allowed life to take root for a beautiful new beginning. Did you know that if fate has dealt you suffering and challenges, then quietly accumulate, diligently toil? Your persistent refinement over the years is meant to shine brilliantly tomorrow. Our destiny is in our hands. In this vast sea of humanity, live a unique life. Learn to be alone. When Tara first entered university, her loneliness began to emerge. This was due to the intense conflict between her inherent perceptions and the real world. She grew up in an overly conservative and rigid family. When she first entered university, she considered female students wearing short skirts that exposed their knees to be immoral. Going to the movies on the Sabbath was disrespectful. She even never washed her hands after using the toilet and dared not take pain medication for an earache. She also adamantly refused government assistance, even when she didn't have enough money for tuition. Her classmates, one by one, cast disdainful glances at her, treating her as an eccentric. Consequently, she was always alone. Lonely Tara began to seek solace in books. By exploring modern civilization, she gradually closed the gap with her classmates, redefined herself, and started living like a normal person. Being alone is a gift from God, and reading is a person's best value-adding time. When properly alone, anxious feelings gradually cool and disturbing sounds slowly subside. Tara found her own rhythm in solitude, and it also gave her rational judgment on various matters. Of course, Tara's initial feeling of loneliness stemmed from the university she attended, and secondly, from her own family. The moment Tara awakened and began to expose Sean's abuses to her parents, her stubborn parents insisted she was possessed by a devil and hallucinating. She became isolated by her entire family. But it was precisely during this period of isolation that Tara touched upon an inner truth. She resolutely defended that truth and steadfastly pursued her own beliefs. She began rereading masterpieces by David Hume, John Stuart Mill, and others. She undertook academic research and tried to unravel her family's unsolved mysteries. And so, after a grueling year, she finally completed the first draft of her dissertation and received an acceptance letter for her PhD from Cambridge University. She began to build a new life, and the bewilderment that had haunted her for many years finally began to find answers. Success is never achieved overnight. Behind every achievement lies a solitude and hardship that ordinary people cannot comprehend. Solitude is not a desire to die. Rather, it is a profound enlightenment, an extraordinary strength born from stillness, helping us, like a bird, to fly to our own skies. Ordinary people fill their inner void with noise, while exceptional individuals use the power of solitude to achieve success. Life is like solitary steps. In silent days, you can accumulate tremendous energy. You don't need to strive to fit in with everyone, nor do you need to seek validation from anyone. You can perfectly refine yourself alone and in silence. This is truly the best way to live for your present self. Let go of obsessions. Wendell Berry once said, "Once an idea is stretched, it never returns to its original dimensions." Tara, a person reborn and moving forward, also experienced this irreversible state, while her family members remained stubbornly in place. Whenever Tara subtly suggested that Sean was a violent man, her father would scold her. "Did you come back from Cambridge just to disrupt this family's peace?" Her father always defended her brother, while her mother remained silent. Sean believed Tara had stabbed him in the back. He constantly called, yelled, and verbally abused Tara, even threatening to hire someone to kill her. Under Sean's threats and her parents' extreme favoritism, Tara's sister also chose to cut ties with her. They claimed Tara was far from God, controlled by Satan, and was the destroyer of the entire family. Yet there was something contradictory and astonishing. Despite her parents' clashing views with Tara, they still wanted her to return to their fold, wishing for her to be reborn. That was their parental love for Tara, love that always existed, but was profoundly distorted. Tara didn't want to sever the blood ties with her parents, for family is where it's hardest to discern right from wrong. But now, she was no longer the Tara of old, while her parents remained unchanged. Her inner self was caught in a massive conflict. For a long time, Tara's spirit seemed to fall into a state of severe fragmentation. She became depressed and lacked confidence. She self-medicated by constantly watching TV every day. She often cried, laughed maniacally at night, and then ran out into the street screaming. But eventually, as new educational awareness was implanted into her belief system, Tara realized that separating from her family was inevitable, that leaving her parents as an adult was a necessary step, and that in any true family relationship, there would come a time for separation. After a painful inner struggle, Tara finally broke free from the guilt and decided to say goodbye to her parents. She found peace with her heart and resolved to be true to herself. As Tara said in an interview, "You can love someone and still choose to say goodbye. You can miss someone every day and still be grateful they are not in your life. Some people are not suitable to be by your side. They can exist in your life in a different way. There is a kind of love that is only suited for longing, for sending your memories from a distant place. There's no need to be too close, nor do you need to sadden yourself. When the sun is too hot, we choose to turn back and embrace the moon. But this doesn't mean we forget the warmth and light of the sun. Only by learning to let go can you move towards a better life." With a strong inner self, Tara was able to break free from the shackles of her family and step into a vast world. She discovered the essence of humanity through education, reinvented herself by acquiring knowledge, and truly turned her life around. Humans should be like pearls, needing to cultivate the ability to regenerate wounds, transforming them to become the brightest pearls. In this life, trees sometimes bear abundant fruit, and sometimes they are desolate and withered. Only by letting go of our obsessions, silently and persistently rebuilding ourselves, can we meet our completely new selves. Only by learning to be alone and continuously exploring our inner world can we find our true destination. And only by overcoming fear, having hope in adversity, and holding firm to our beliefs, can we find happiness and the courage to exist. Thank you for listening. May you and I transform life's bitterness into immense inner strength, relentlessly moving forward through every difficulty.